Hello, everyone. I'm Blayne Gilmer. Welcome to Southeastern 14 daily coverage of the SEC. It is football season. We are ramping up week one, ready to go this weekend, and it is going to be an exciting season for all the SEC teams. But particularly, we think that Kentucky here at Southeastern 14 is going to have a tremendous football season in 2023. Very high on Devin, Leary, Liam Coen, that combination, of course, the trio of playmakers that Kentucky has on the outside in Dane Key, Tayvion Robinson, and Barion Brown. And then Ray Davis getting added to the mix over at running back, a revamped offensive line. We know what Mark Stoops has over there on defense with guys like J.J. Weaver, like Oxendine. They have names that have been there for a while, plus some key pieces that have come in. So without further ado, let's get right to it. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's go right into this Kentucky 2023 schedule. Listen, Ball State, you just got to commend them, okay, because they're playing Kentucky week one. They're playing Georgia week two. So, hey, they're going to get paid, and they're going to get some quality reps in, as coaches like to say, put some stuff on tape as they head into their conference play. But Kentucky, what you want to see in this opening matchup is you just want to see Liam Coen be comfortable with, Devin Leary, keep him upright, get the ball distributed to all those playmakers, and get some good vibes going early on that offense. Want to see a dominant performance because that's what Kentucky is capable of putting out against Ball State here in game one. Game two, Eastern Kentucky, same thing. Stay injury free, get the ball to your playmakers. Don't have to show everything, but get some things going, your bread and butter, and be able to run the football in both of these first two games. Get Ray Davis going, get that offensive line going downhill, and show people that you're a different football team than you were in 2023 when it comes to running the football. That's what Kentucky wants to accomplish in those first couple of games. Akron, same thing. I mean, the same thing, same song, different verse for game three. Kentucky should absolutely dominate these first three games. And again, running the football and stopping the run, they do those two things. They show that they can be dominant in those two areas of the game. Then it's a good sign for what's to come with Kentucky after these first few games. Vanderbilt, listen, I was a little bit higher on Vanderbilt before week zero, saw what they did against Hawaii. That offensive line is atrocious. I think even though this game is in Nashville, Kentucky is going to absolutely eat up their offensive front with Kentucky's defensive front. And I just think that, whether it's Deion Walker over there, whether it's Oxendine, whether it's J.J. Weaver, there's just going to be more than Vanderbilt can handle. And I think that Kentucky gets off to that 4-0 start even after the trip to Nashville. They're going to come home, and the Gators are going to be coming to town. Kentucky's a better football team than Florida. They're a deeper football team than Florida. They get them at Kroger Field in Lexington. I think that this is where you're going to see Liam Coen, that magistry, the absolute architectural design of this offense kind of fully come together, and you're going to see some things pulled out of the bag that haven't had to been in those first four games. Devin Leary and the trio of wide receivers really get clicking in this game, and I really like Kentucky to come out on top. A 5-0 start for the Kentucky Wildcats after this win at home versus Florida. Then you go to Georgia, and listen, it's just a tough time. Just a tough time to catch Georgia, because I think Georgia is in the middle of just a historic run. Their roster is better than anybody in the country. Unless Georgia shoots themselves in the foot, I think that Kentucky loses this game in Athens. If it was at Kroger Field, I'd give Kentucky a lot better chance. But I think with it being in Athens, and just the way these two rosters are set up right now, Georgia's a better football team. But I do think Kentucky keeps this thing close into the fourth quarter. They always play Georgia well, but I think Georgia pulls away at the end of this one. Coming home, Missouri, I'll be honest with you. If this one was at Columbia, I would probably go with Missouri just because weird things happen in Columbia. And also, that Missouri defense is going to very, very much so look like a vintage Mark Stoops Kentucky defense. It is salty. It is experienced. They're going to get after you. So this is going to be a big test for Devin Leary and that offense at home. But ultimately, I think they have enough firepower to beat Missouri at home. I think Kentucky's going to avenge that loss against Tennessee. They got embarrassed defensively last year. I know that Brad White and Mark Stoops are going to have this one circled all year to make sure that they keep Joe Milton and that Tennessee offense in check. Don't let them over the top as much as they did last year in Rocky Top. And also being able to run the football against Tennessee is going to help Kentucky. I think they'll be able to do that at home some. I think they'll be able to, sustain drives. I think the who knows how the clock rules are going to play into all this. I think all of that plays into Kentucky's advantage here. So give me Kentucky to beat Tennessee at home. At Mississippi State, listen, it's always a weird matchup for Kentucky when they play Mississippi State, but I think they go on the road to Starkville, so show some maturity, especially after the momentum that they've garnered over with that win over Tennessee. I think Kentucky goes in there, cowbells or not, they go in there to Mississippi State and they just have a better feel for who they are as a program at this point in time than Mississippi State does. Don't get me wrong, Will Rogers and company are going to be better than people think, but I just think they're still in a year of transition and things like that, and you got a lot of continuity, even with Leary and Coen having taken 1 year away from the program, a lot of continuity there on that Kentucky staff. I think you see the maturity of this Kentucky team on the road after a big win. They defeat Mississippi State. I do think they lose to Alabama at home. I almost pulled the trigger on Kentucky winning this one as well because, listen, it's going to be Alabama will have just come off a very physical game, a high-profile game against LSU. The emotions are gonna be high. How do they, get ready to go into a raucous environment there at Kroger Field? I think especially with what Kentucky's record will have been going into this game, it's going to be a really good environment there. But I think Alabama's just too deep, too talented, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I think Alabama's really good this year. So give me Alabama to beat Kentucky at Kentucky in that game. I think Kentucky goes to Columbia, South Carolina, and absolutely makes South Carolina quit in that game. I really, really do. I think Mark Stoops and Shane Beamer don't like each other whatsoever. I think you're going to see a South Carolina team that will have been very much so up and down to this point in the year. And I think you're going to see a Kentucky team that is playing with purpose and that defense and is going to travel. And I think they're going to be able to run the football on South Carolina as well. I don't like South Carolina's depth. Defensively, they're going to play a lot of freshmen on both sides of the ball this year, and I think Kentucky goes in there and wins that game by 14 points or more. Then the little brother, Louisville, Kentucky's able to go in there and just beat up on Louisville, it seems, at will now. They're going to Louisville. I don't think it changes even with a change at head coach for Louisville, so give me Kentucky to win that game as well. And I think Mark Stoops has a tremendous year, and the Kentucky Wildcats go 10-2 in the regular season. That'll put them in contention for a New Year's Six bowl game, and this will be a banner year in 2023, just coming up just one game shy of an SEC championship appearance there. And I think Kentucky has all the tools that they need. I really do. Devin Leary coming in. People don't realize how good that young man was before he sustained his pec injury. Everything's feeling good now over there. Reports out of camp that he's doing great with those wide receivers. Ray Davis, he rushed for over 1,000 yards for a Vanderbilt offensive line. That same Vanderbilt offensive line just averaged 1.5 yards per carry against Hawaii in week 0. Ray Davis had over 1,000 yards behind that offensive line. That's 1,500 plus anywhere else. I like that piece added with Leary and Coen coming back and those wide receivers on the perimeter. I think it can be an explosive year for Kentucky. I like Kentucky a lot. So like, subscribe, turn on notifications, leave your comments. Let us know what you think the year is going to be like for Kentucky. And guys, we would love to hear those from you. And tune in each and every day, daily coverage here of SEC. We have a daily show. We have prediction videos. We have betting picks. We have instant reaction on Saturday nights. We have a live show that we're going to do. You want to make sure you're tuned in right here to Southeastern 14. So for everybody at the channel, I am Blayne Gilmer, and we'll catch you guys next time to talk more SEC football right here on Southeastern 14.